As we are able to move back into our churches, we have made a small video to show you how things unfortunately have to be so different to what we're used to. You'll notice the pathway is quite narrow, and we would ask you to be careful to maintain social distancing as you approach the building. There is a notice I must draw your attention to on the door. If you have a fever, sore throat, cough, loss of taste, or loss of smell, please consider very carefully as to whether you should enter the building at all. We enter the building, and you'll see on your immediate right a hand hygiene station, but that is the one we use on the way out, not the way in. We also have some floor markings to remind you to keep a safe distance of 2 meters, and everybody should be wearing a face covering. Another reminder is on the table there. The only toilet in use is to the left. The other toilets are not in use whilst this condition remains the same. As we go through into the main hall, you can see a table in front. But before you get to the table, I'd just like to remind you that to look at this hand hygiene rub, the hand rub poster, because that just helps you to understand how to apply it. Because one push of the plunger is usually enough to supply sufficient sanitizer for both hands. We're asking you to sign in, and in order that you understand why we're asking you to sign in, we have put on there the Methodist Test and Traced record, which explains why. We will ask you to use the hand sanitizer before you sign in, and again after you've signed in. If you don't happen to have a face covering with you, we can provide one for you here. We enter the main chapel, the main worship area, and you'll notice that we are operating as best we can a one-way system, so we would be asking you not to go out of that door. You'll notice that a number of the seats have been taped up, and these seats unfortunately should not be used for the time being. And we are very sorry that 1 or 2 regular seats have had to be relocated in order to get the maximum number of people in the building, or at least provide the availability for the maximum number of people in the worship space. After the worship has finished or your time of prayer has ended, we would ask you to exit through this door here, bearing in mind that the bottleneck or pinch point will be just the other side of this door where people might be coming in. So there may be a requirement to wait if there are a number of people in the building. We would ask you to dispose of your face covering in the bin provided to the left of the table, and then carry out hand hygiene before you leave the building. The sadness is that we are not going to be allowed to sing. We are not going to be able to hug one another or shake one another's hands as ordinarily we would do. But you are more than welcome to come back into the church buildings. We are in a state of a new normal, but this new normal won't last forever. God bless.